Hi, good morning, good afternoon, hello, wherever you are. Today we're gonna be making Liberian Fula bread or French baguettes, okay? And I've been craving Fula bread since I came to the US, and I've been in the US for a while now, and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I went ahead and learned how to make it. We're using 3 ingredients to make this. You're gonna use flour, like I'm adding on my bread maker that I got from TikTok. So you're using the flour, and you're gonna add yeast. That's my yeast that I went ahead and activated. I added sugar and yeast to warm water and let it sit for like 3 minutes. And then you're gonna be using salt. I use 1.5 teaspoon of salt. But you can add whatever amount of salt you want to add to your Fula bread or baguettes. But for me, I use 1.5. Okay. And then after you add your salt, you're going to go ahead and you're going to let it do a thing. Okay? All right. You let it get to the consistency that you want it at. And then you can take it out. All right? Yeah. That machine is amazing, by the way. I got it from the TikTok shop, whoever wanted. It wasn't very expensive, but it is amazing. It got the job done. Like I said, been craving Fula bread for a while. Okay, now you want your dough to be a little bit sticky. You don't want it to be smooth. You want it to be sticky and rough. Okay, because you're making Fula bread, French baguettes. So you want it to be sticky and rough. You don't want it to be smooth. You don't want it to be thick. You want it to be sticky and rough. Okay? Then I'm going to scoop it out of the bread maker. And I'm going to add it to my pan that I went ahead and oil already. Yeah, just because you don't want it to stick to the pan. Alright? I added oil to that pan already. And then once you're done with that, you're going to cover your dough. Cover it up after you're done with all that nice stuff. I use aluminum foil to cover my dough. You can use towel or like a shower cap, not the one you already use or a new one. So don't go be nasty and say I told you to do that. Anyways, I'm using aluminum foil to cover my dough and let it sit for like an hour so it can rise. Okay? If you're letting it sit, put it in a place that is room temperature. Minnesota is freezing cold right now, so I'm gonna put my dough in the oven with the light on. Don't turn on the oven, just put it in the oven with the light on because your oven is more likely to be room temperature. The rest of the house is cold. This is Minnesota again, so I'm putting it in the oven with the light on. Do not turn on your oven. Again, do not turn it on. Just set it in there with the light on and let it sit for like an hour so it can rise. And then once it rises, you're not going to get rid of the bubbles. You're going to let the bubbles stay in there. Okay, so you pour a lot of flours on your hands and flour on the surface that you're going to be putting your dough on. And then you transfer your dough from the bowl to the surface with the flour on your hands. Not getting rid of the bubbles because you need the bubble. Other people are gonna like roll it. I'm not gonna roll it because I'm learning how to do it. I don't know how to do this professionally yet. But anyways, I'm not gonna roll mine. I'm just gonna cut it as it is. And I'm gonna go look for a knife because I don't have the thing they use to cut the bread. Okay? Okay, we're on a budget over here. All right? And I'm going to add a little bit of flour to my knife once I find the knife that I want to use to cut it. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to add flour to that knife because I don't want the dough sticky on it. Now, I'm going to cut it we're making 4 Fula bread and baguettes, by the way, all baguettes, by the way. So I'm gonna cut it, and after I cut it, I'm just gonna play with it a little bit, okay? I'm not doing much because I don't want to, again, get rid of the bubbles. So I'm just gonna play with it a little bit, and I'm gonna add it to my baking pan, like my baking sheet or whatever that's called. And then, yes, I'm gonna pinch the end because I want it to look like a Fula bread, you know, or baguettes. So I'm gonna pinch the end of it. Yeah, just smooth it out. And I'm gonna do that to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. I think you get it now. You get what I'm trying to do here. Anyways, cut it. I don't roll it. I just cut it and like play with it a little bit. By the way, my camera girl was at school, so my grandma was the one recording this video, so it might not be all professional because, you know, she doesn't know how to work a camera, to be honest. Anyways, you're gonna just pinch it at the end. Okay, don't do too much with it. Let it sit for 30 minutes before you put it in the oven, okay? And I already preheated my oven to 350 degrees. You can go with 400 because that's Fula bread. And the pan underneath there is to give steam. You need that. You need to pour hot water in your oven so it get hot and give steam to the bread. That helps. Yep. See how the bread is looking golden and very nice. Yeah. And it tastes amazing too. It tastes so good. I cannot even tell you. I'm not even trying to praise myself, but the bread tastes amazing. Okay, see how golden that look? And also, see? Yeah, Fula bread. Amazing. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye. Like, comment, share.